I'm going to share what I learned about health from working with over 200 seniors. I'm a physical therapist, and here are my insights. Number one, if you want to live a long, happy, healthy life, have lots of friends, keep learning new things, stay physically active, and be part of a community. If you want to live a long, miserable, and unhealthy life, blame everyone else for your problems, never try new things, and don't do any physical activity. So, really, that's the gist of it. If you want to get into some more detail, keep watching. Now, maybe you are not sure how to make friends or have a difficult time keeping them. A great book for you is How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's an oldie but a goodie. Literally smiling at people and giving genuine compliments can make you friends. It doesn't have to be super complicated. Keeping friends, on the other hand, is challenging because life gets busy. But I can speak from personal experience that it is possible. I'm currently 32, I'm married, I work full time, I have a young daughter, and I still keep up with my friends. This can be through texting, calling, or whatever your favorite messenger app is. Some of my friends, I keep up with them weekly, others I keep up with them monthly, and then some of them quarterly. It really just depends on the depth of the relationship. Now, my strategy for this is I actually keep a spreadsheet, I know, a bit of a nerd, of who I spoke with and when that date was. I do this so that I can make sure that I'm not forgetting anyone. Now, you might see this as robotic. However, I see it as the ultimate form of being intentional because I care so much about maintaining these relationships that I've gone through the trouble of creating a spreadsheet to track who I called and when. So it is possible. Open Google Sheets, create a little spreadsheet and put your friends and family down that you want to keep in contact with. Okay, so learning new things. This is a big one for the seniors that I've worked with who are still really sharp and are still lively and full of energy. They're always learning something new. I'll never forget a client I had who was 82. He wouldn't come to physical therapy on Tuesdays because he had class at the adult school where he was learning about ancient literature. I can't remember the class exactly. Something like that though. But learning can be, it can be a new instrument, it can be a new language, physical skill, public speaking, a new sport, you name it. Like, it can be any of those. And if we aren't learning and growing even into old age, we are declining. And this next one is one of my favorites, staying physically active. I had a client who was 80, but he looked like he was in his 60s. He had no balance issues. He was absolutely jacked, and he had been lifting weights his entire life and could still deadlift and squat equal to his body weight, which was around 180 pounds. This guy could go on a 10-mile hike with a 40-pound pack without injuring himself on uneven terrain, which is amazing. Dude was an absolute beast. Now, not everyone needs to be like him, but even if people were 10% as active and fit as him, they'd be way better than the general population. Physical activity can be walking around the neighborhood, doing yard work, and what I've noticed healthy, or what I've really noticed they do, is that they had a consistent exercise regimen that included cardiovascular exercise and weight training. This had become part of their identity, and they wanted to live longer with quality. They all told me the same thing. What's the point of living longer if my quality of life is terrible? Unfortunately, I've seen the other side of that equation too many times to count. Folks with uncontrolled, self-induced diabetes type 2, congestive heart failure, COPD, chronic pain, and a variety of other conditions that are largely preventable. Not all of them, but many. Life is just so much better with regular physical activity. Trust me, I've seen both sides. All right, so this last piece I'll share is about being part of a community. This can be through a church, a social group like hiking, biking, cards, book club, or something else. It can be a bird watching group. It can be a political group. It could be a neighborhood beautification club or a huge variety of other things. This is hugely important as this gives life a sense of purpose and meaning, and humans need to feel like we're connected to something greater than ourselves. This is why when we are in our 20s, paving our own way, leaving our past behind, including oftentimes the influence and security of our parents, that we end up feeling that anxiety and lack of purpose. We don't know what we want to do with our lives. This is normal, but I promise that if I've learned anything from my own experiences going through my 20s and then into my 30s, and then having hundreds of conversations with people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, it's that being in a community surrounded by just passionate and engaged people is likely the ultimate force for happiness and well-being. Dare I say, even more than exercise. A sense of belonging is the greatest tool for quality longevity that exists, in my opinion. Well, that about wraps it up. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about quality longevity and what goes into that in the comments. Peace.